For tonight's homework 826, I'd like you to write down all the work I'm about to show and write down the 3 random words I'm going to say during the video to show me that you listen. So the first concept is an equation with only one variable. If I could see, this only has an x in it. I give you 3 values for x to plug in to see which one, when I do plug that in for x, gives me 17. So here I go. The first one, if I plug in the red 2 into that equation, I leave that 5 alone. Where that x is, that's where I plug in the 2. Close that parenthesis, that shows times, plus 2 equals 17. Add that up, 10 plus 2 equals 17. I don't know, nope, that gives me 12. And that does not equal the number I was looking for, which was 17. So that shows when I take that 2 and plug it in for x, it was not a solution to that equation. If I try the blue one, here I go. Take that blue, x is 3, plugging in x is 3, plus 2. I'm going to see if that equals 17. So that gives me 15 plus 2. And yes, you can see that does indeed give me 17. That is a true statement. That number, when I plugged it in for x, was a solution to that equation. That one is good. The red one did not work. So again, when I plug that in, the red one, no solution. The blue one, yes, that one did work. If I do the last one and plug in 4 and for x, just to prove Mr. Marshall full credit work, take that 5, replace that x with 4, plus 2 equals 17. That gives me 20 plus 2. And I could see that 22 does not give me the 17 I'm looking for. That is not a solution. The only number that was a solution to that equation was x equals 3. The first random word is blue. Blue. All right, the next problems are different because they have x and y in them, where this is the x coordinate given to you, and we're wanting you to find what the y coordinate is if I give you that for x. So for these, I'm taking this equation and plug in the 3 in there for x and see what I get for y. And then I'm going to plug in this -2 for x and see what I get for y. Then I'm going to plug in the 0 for x. They're all going into the x locations. So here I go. First one, plugging in 3 for x. Let's see what y gives me. So when I plug in the independent variable, the one I have control over, I could plug in any number for x, but the y number is dependent on the x number I plug in. That's why we call the x values the independent variables, and the y ones dependent on what we plug in for x. So I could see for that equation with 2 variables, when I plugged in 3 for x, it gave me 16 for y. That is the complete coordinate. If I plug in -2, that gives me y equals -12. 6 positive, -2, -12. And then here, -12, -2 looks like a double sign, but combines to give me even more of those negatives, -14. And then the last point, if I want to see what y is when x is 0, I plug in x is 0. And that gives me 0 minus 2, which is just -2. So for that equation, when I plug in x is 0, y was -2. So again, 2 equations. If I give you x, plug it in. Sometimes you'll see some of my advanced students, they're not going to give you the x number. They're going to instead give you the y number. And you could still do the same math and solve for x. But you wouldn't put that 4 in the X spot and solve for Y. Nope. You would plug in the 4 into that Y spot and solve for X, which makes that a little harder because it's an equation where you gotta take away 2 and divide by 6. I was hoping to get a nice neat number, but that looks like if Y is 4, X is 1/3. That's if I give you the Y number instead. The second word is bird. Bird. Last problem is just graphing. Y goes way up high into the sky. This is the dependent. Depends on what the X number is. This is the X-axis. This is the independent. I choose these to be what I want. To label them, just go by 1s on the X-axis. And then for the Y-axis, you could adjust the scale, but this one looks like I'm going up by 1s. Know that these are coordinate pairs. The X number is given and the Y number. That first pair, 0 is X, Y is 2. 1 is X, Y is 3. Plot them, 0 for X, 2 for Y. 1 for X, 3 for Y. 2 for X, 4 for Y. Up, jumping 3 up to 7. Those are those coordinates. Be nice for you to label them for me. Label X and Y. And then the third and final word is wave. So show me the work and the 3 secret words. If you didn't hear all 3, go back and listen again. Good luck.